Good morning, friends. Tomorrow is my birthday, but I am going to celebrate today. I have the day off. It's January 16th. And if you're here in the States, it is the day that we celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. and his legacy. And I'm just going to claim today for my birthday as well. So happy birthday to me. Does anybody remember that scene from Moonlighting where Bruce Willis sang that? Today is your birthday. Da 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 da. It's my birthday too, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and open a gift that I actually purchased for myself because as I get older, I treat myself more and more. I've gotten some really nice gifts from family members, and we're going out to a nice dinner tonight. Hopefully, I can bring you along for a portion of that. But let me turn the camera around here. Oh, hey, y'all. Hold on, let me get we're doing a little house construction. I ordered myself something that I usually don't do. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you watch me, you know, I'm constantly talking about buying things on deep discount. Let's say that together. Deep discount. However, this is something I did want to go ahead and splurge for because I knew that I would really love it, and I've been lusting after it, I would say, for the better part of a year and a half. So it's not on a whim. It's not something... Look, y'all, we have antique furniture that's really old, like this piece here. This chest of drawers, as it's called, and it's got these marks from long ago, and I don't mind that. It's like battle scars from the furniture. So anyway, just in case you were wondering, did you burn your furniture? No, we did not. But someone did something to it long ago, but we still love this piece. Anyway, back to this. I have a dupe of what's inside of here that I have loved called Aurora. And Aurora is made by Stargaze Fragrances, which is now under Strike Gold Shave. Anyway, I can leave that link in the description box if you're interested, but it is a dupe for Angelique Noire, which I have to tell you is a fragrance from Guerlain, that when I first tried, I thought was really weird. This was years ago that I tried it, and I thought, what is all the rage about? However, as it settled down on my skin, something about it just intrigued me, and then the more and more that I tried the sample and the more and more that I wore the dupe, the more I knew that I wanted the actual bottle. So let us unbox this beauty together. I have no idea how to open this. I guess I do this. And I'm not big into unboxings. Oh, I guess this just pops right off. Excuse me. Can you tell? I don't purchase from the retail site often. I guess you just do this. I was getting a little too crazy with it. The packaging, of course, if that matters to you, is gorgeous. Look at the it's the bee, the Guerlain bee symbol, duh. But how cute is this? Okay, so, of course, we have to see what samples they sent. I don't remember. Did I pick some samples out on the website? Rosa. So I'll try that out another time. What else? This is some kind of serum. The double R, Renew and Repair Advanced Serum. Abeille Royale. I'll be trying that. Y'all, I've given up on French pronunciation, so if that offends you, my humble apologies. Let's move on. And then a cream. So, okay. It's so funny. People are always like, oh, it's so nice to order from the retail site because you get samples. So, look, let's just be clear. These little samples are nice. I can get these anywhere. I don't need to pay what I paid for this just for these samples. That's, to me, not a good reason to pay full retail price. But here she is, Angelique Noire. All right, I got the little stickers off screen so you didn't have to see me struggle with that. And here she is. So one thing that I really like about the Guerlain site is they let you pick out the color of this band here, and you can also pick out what kind of material you want up here. Like, do you want it glossy, or do you want it hammered? Do you want black? Do you want some other, I don't know if they have another metal, but I chose the gold hammered look because I love that, and I chose the gold banding. You can get all different colors. In fact, I thought about green because this is a green vanilla, but you know what? The green looked cheesy. And I think you can even pick out the color of this little emblem here. I don't remember exactly. Anyway, I did not get the big bottle. I got the, whatever this is, the 1.7 ounce. And I also, oh, isn't that pretty? The little bee engraved back there, or whatever you call that when it's in the glass. I chose just to get this because, as you know, I have a large collection, and if I can get a smaller bottle these days, I'm usually doing that because I won't go through things as often rather. And honestly, this was expensive enough. So this was my little treat to myself for my birthday, and I'm really pleased with it. For those of you that are not familiar, this is a vanilla fragrance that has a lot of green nuances, and I find it to be unique and sophisticated. Let me spray. I need to shower. Can you tell? I'm gonna do that in a minute, but ooh, beautiful. Nice, subtle, vanillic green, ethereal, light, soft. She's an icon. She's a legend. She is the moment. Is that how that goes? Whatever that little expression is that's making its rounds through IG. Actually, it's old news by now, but I'm still saying it. So anyway, happy birthday to me. I'm gonna go get ready. Quite loving it. Let me see if I can get you all in a little bit closer with some good natural lighting. No filters, no ring lights, nothing. I have that Natasha Denona High-Gen Skin, whatever the heck it's called, hydrating, plumping, primer serum, that thing, the skin glass, that's what it's called. I have that on under my foundation. The foundation is the Valentino one, the Very Valentino, long lasting, light reflecting, whatever the heck it's called. I have that on, and all of the glowy products underneath that I mentioned in the previous video about products that were, wins and mez and fails. The wins are on my face. And I'm gonna tell you what, I really, really like the radiant effect that all of those products give me under my foundation. And I have powder on too to help not look excessively oily, but it works. If you want that glowy lit from within look, y'all, here we go. I think 48 is looking all right. What do you think? So my 48th birthday was great. Really enjoyed my time out, and just love knowing that I'm at a really sort of comfortable place in my life, my personal life, my friendship circles, my family relationships, my career. Our children are doing well, all of that, lots of blessings and a lot to be grateful for. I'm not gonna lie, there's something really scary about approaching 50. I realize that those of you that are subscribers to this channel and or YouTube friends of mine, and in some cases both, probably think that sounds crazy if you're at 50 or over. But so I can only speak from my own point of view right now, being officially 48 and a couple of years away from 50. That sort of what we traditionally think of as the halfway mark of life it's no longer the halfway mark, at least not in my mind and my fantasizing about how old I think I will get to be at some point. With social media and having access to information about celebrities and all of that, we're hearing more and more about people dying at earlier stages of their life for various reasons. And it's likely that that was happening all along, right? Like throughout history. Anyway, we can spend a whole lot of time in another video looking from like a sociology and medical perspective at people's longevity, humanity's longevity throughout history, and how it used to be in the 30 to 40 year range at some point, in terms of life expectancy, and then started to increase for different reasons. We won't get into all of that. But I think in modern times, people have, at least I think, some kind of fantasy of growing to be 100 years old. But the reality is that very few people get to do that. And maybe some people don't want to do that. That's a whole nother conversation about quality of life as you age and all of that. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it has become more real and tangible to me that, you know, life can be a lot shorter than we expect. Let's do another video on that another day because there's a lot to dig into there. It can feel like a really sobering, morbid conversation. And in a lot of ways it is, and in other ways it's just, for me, an opportunity to really reflect and be mindful about my current state of living and what I want to do with whatever my remaining years are. So I hope that I'm blessed to live a long life and that there's health attached to that. But anyway, so that was a wild little tangent there. Let's talk about some fun stuff, some of the products that I was able to get from gift cards that were given to me for my birthday. I won't go over all my birthday gifts, like that just doesn't make sense, but I do want to share some of the makeup products because of the nature of this channel. Before I do that, I did want to talk about one quick skincare thing that I think is making a difference for me. Would love to know if you've used this. I know that women who are, or users, perhaps there are men also using this. I don't know, but I've only heard from women or seen women's comments and reviews. It's the New Face, and there's a bunch of different devices like this, but this shoots out electric current that you pass this over your face. I won't get into all the details. I use an ultrasound gel and put that on my face and then pass this over certain parts of my face 3 times is the idea of it. Do it on my face, my cheeks, and then through here, and then up in my forehead area. I've been using this thing for probably since Thanksgiving-ish, somewhere in that time range, so a couple of months. And I have to say, I'm starting to see a visible difference in the texture of my skin and how it sits on my face. It almost feels like Botox without getting Botox. I don't know what Botox feels like, so I have to say it's what I imagine Botox to feel like. So I'll be sitting, for example, at a video conference, and I'll notice that my face in general is very relaxed, and I have a harder time like making really extreme expressions unless I really put a lot of effort into it. I don't know if that's what this is supposed to do. I know this works on a muscular level. So it affects like it sends a current into the muscles under your skin to help them relax. And so the effect is over time that your face wrinkles less because your skin wrinkles for different reasons. Sun exposure, genetics, several other factors, and because of the expressions that we make over time, constantly wrinkling our skin up. So the combination of that is what creates wrinkles on faces over time. And so this is supposed to be one of those long-term game kinds of treatments. There are other versions. I purchased this New Face one because it's probably one of the most popular ones. I have to tell you that I laugh about this with a few YouTube friends of mine all the time because this looks like some kind of sexual toy. Like, what is this? But anyway, it just stays on my face, friends, I promise. But I do this every morning as I drink coffee. I don't know that I have to do it every day for the rest of my life. I know you're supposed to do it very frequently when you first purchase it, and then you can kind of scale back to maybe every other day or something like that. I have really appreciated the ritual of this. I like the cooling effect that it has immediately that morning on my face and skin. It's like a Zen ritual, but I am starting to see a more relaxed face, more relaxed countenance, I think is the word I'm looking for. And I feel fairly confident that over time I'll continue to see results from this or less aging of my skin over the long run. I'm very, very interested in red light therapy mask. Yeah, I know it looks gimmicky. It looks crazy as hell, y'all. I'm looking at this one here, the Omnilux, and the reviews are mixed in terms of the construction of the product and whether it holds up over time. So that's my one hesitation. And I'm also waiting for a pretty big discount code. Right now I'm only seeing 10% discount codes, which puts this contraption at a very pricey amount. However, again, people just rave and rave about it. And just for reviews, like I don't really necessarily look at people that are sponsored by products. Not that there's anything wrong with that or that I don't believe them. You know, you either believe someone that you're watching on YouTube or social media or you don't. And that's your choice based on the person's personality and what you think, like your gut reaction to who you think they are, whether they're telling you the truth or not. But I do look at other unsponsored reviews. And a good place to go for those is Reddit, which can be a rabbit hole, y'all. It can be the worst of humanity. But you can also find just some really sort of unadulterated, honest reviews and thoughts on things, and sometimes Facebook groups too, if you can manage to dodge all of the other BS that comes with being in those social media kinds of spaces and the craziness of people, right? I did get a gift certificate to Ulta, and I went ahead and re-upped on something that appears like it's about to be discontinued because I don't see it anywhere except online, and then the supplies of it are limited. And it's the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation. So I was interrupted while I was filming, and I stopped, and while I was interrupted, I managed to put on my base, my concealer, and I did put the foundation on. So the bottle looks like this. I love this little like tigery print up here. Tiger? Do tigers have stripes? Yes, they do. Anyway, the color I'm wearing is 3W2 Golden. It's actually a little bit lighter than I would like because I spray tanned yesterday. So the color underneath on my actual skin is a little bit more neutral and caramelly. So anyway, I really, really like this foundation a lot. It is very long wearing and very nice and matte. There's a radiant version that Laura Mercier makes that is also fabulous. So these are the matte ones. And like I said, it looks like it's going to be discontinued. Is it matte? Well, if it has any radiance, it's very slight. It's not like a dewy, glossy foundation by any means, right? Holy grail here. So I stocked up because I have a feeling that's going to disappear. I also stocked up on a lot of staple products like eyebrow pencils and mascaras. I ended up getting the Wayne Goss mascara from Beautylish. I also got a gift certificate to Beautylish from my sister. And I got a couple of little Viseart palettes. I'm being really funny with eyeshadow. Okay, so I said in a previous video that I am an eyeshadow snob. It's like the one thing, the one product category in my life that I am a snob about. I'm not a snob about shoes or purses, hair products, anything else, like lipstick, nothing, just eyeshadow for some reason. Because I do find that there's, at least for me, broadly speaking, a difference in quality. Yes, you can find some fantastic eyeshadow palettes at the drugstore. And yes, you have some crappy eyeshadow palettes on the high-end and luxury market. But in general, generally speaking, I find that I have a much harder time finding quality eyeshadows at the drugstore than I do the other way around. Anyway, I purchased, oh my God, these are so cute, 3 little Viseart palettes that I have been eyeballing. The packaging is cute. Let me just pause and say my new rules for purchasing eyeshadows. The packaging has to be appealing. That's part of my gripe with drugstore eyeshadows is that the packaging usually is plasticky and looks rather cheap. Some high-end shadows look cheap too, so like, you know, but the packaging has to be nice. The formula has to be proven. Like I have to know that it's going to work for me and be long lasting. Like it has to perform, be pigmented, fairly pigmented. Not all eyeshadows have to be like boom, but they have to have some presence and they have to be well performing throughout the day, very little fallout and all of that. And then the formula has to stay good for a long period of time. Sometimes with eyeshadow palettes, the formula is great when you first get it. It's wonderful for a few months, maybe 6 months, and then all of a sudden it starts to just kind of dry out and fall apart. And I'm just over that. I keep my eyeshadows for a long time, y'all. I have had some eyeshadow palettes up to 10 years. I know some people think that's gross, but I'm gonna tell you what, they work fine. Haven't had any problems. So I need long lasting shadows. Okay, let me go. Viseart. How cute is this beautiful pattern? Would I call it something like a Baroque floral? I don't know. But this is called Kashmiri. I love the size of it and that it's great for travel. You know, all that travel we're doing during and after the pandemic. Are we in the post-pandemic period? Depends on who you ask. I'm going to say we're in a transition phase. Argue in the comments if you like, but I'm going to say we're in a transition phase. Kashmiri. Look at it. Isn't that really pretty? Well, let's see. Yeah, this is more sort of on the cool tone side, neutral and cool toned. I think these are going to be really pretty on the eyes. And I love that it has these little pops of like a lavendery, purple, muted kinds of colors, beautiful shimmers in the gray and purpley space. This nice deeper color if you want to darken the outer edge or use as even eyeliner. You have your brow shade there. I really like this. It has the, let me take the plastic off for y'all. There you go. So I got this. How cute that it looks like, that's the artist's chair, the director's chair rather. And it looks like a palette, like an art palette that you open up, which I think is so cute. I also got the Mink Set palette. And this one looks like that. So this one is more warm toned And again, it has that deeper color and the lighter colors and the beautiful shimmers. You can do a variety of looks out of here. And finally, the Violette, which I really wasn't going to get. The cover art is really cute. I wasn't going to get it because it's mostly a purpley based palette with some neutral transition shades and so forth. But again, I convinced myself it's for the travel purposes, you guys, travel. But I also have a new rule that when things come in, things have to go out. So you saw some of the palettes that I was decluttering in the last video. And I do have two other little Viseart palettes, the Rose Edit, which is more in the pinky tone family. This is really nice for travel too. These are even smaller than these palettes. Look at that. And I have the Warm Edit, which looks like so. I mean, look, between that set of palettes, you don't need any more travel stuff. I think I'm going to finally let go of, I can't believe I'm saying this, my Physicians Formula Muru Muru Butter Collection, the Ultimate Collection. Do y'all remember this? Look at this. Boom. Eyeshadows, bronzers. But wait, there's more. It also has the lip colors. This smells so good. It smells like coconut amazingness. And it has the highlighters slash shimmers there. I really don't want to let go of this. This is in really great shape and I haven't used a lot of it. It's the packaging. The packaging breaks my nice packaging rule. It's super heavy and bulky and quite a pain to travel with, even though theoretically it's great for travel because everything that you could ever want and more is in here. But so there's parts of this that I love and parts of it that I hate. And so I will pass this along to someone who can use it. And in place, these take up a lot less room than that. Look at this. This is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. Okay. Let me get ready and I'll come back and film my final thoughts on what? I don't know, but I'll share some final thoughts with you. Give me a minute. I don't remember where I was. I've been interrupted 3 or 4 times. Everything seems like a fire that needs to be put out right away the minute that I start filming. Do you have that happen at your home where everyone in your house needs you only when you're busy? When you're not busy and sitting around on the couch, no one pays any attention to you. The second that you get busy, all of a sudden, everyone needs your attention right away. So it's been kind of like one of those days. Bless their hearts. But here is the final look. Do I have lipstick on my teeth? No, I don't. Okay, good. I feel like I always have lipstick in my teeth or broccoli in my teeth. You know, I haven't done an inner corner highlight. I don't know. Do we want one? We always want one. Hang on. I'm always obsessed with this Flexitarian from ColourPop. It's a cheek. Well, what the hell is it? Is it a color or a highlighter? I don't know. I use it as a highlighter. It's this gel form and it like never fails me for a pop of zhuzh. Look at that zhuzhing. The zhuzh factor. I don't know that I've used this very much as an actual cheek highlighter. I don't have cheek highlighter on. Do we want highlighter? I don't know why I say we like you're here, but I feel like you're with me while I do my makeup. So I hope that's not weird when I say do we, because we are experiencing this video together, right? Is that all right? Is that okay? Okay, I like it. I'm digging it. I think I might skip the highlighter. I didn't even do powder today, and I don't care. Some days I want like the full beat, you know, everything from like the basic skincare to primer to the finishing spray. I don't have any finishing spray on. This is actually the Charlotte Tilbury spray. I keep saying Tilbury. Y'all, Tilbury. One day I'm gonna get it right. But I put it in this because the original spray bottle, like, it's like a hose. It like splashed my face up. This isn't doing much better though, but I'm trying to use this up. I may dump this, like I may be just done with this and go on to another setting spray. So let's talk about the makeup. I love this foundation with every fiber of my being. This Laura Mercier one that I showed you. Oh my God, like how exquisite. Like I said, I don't have any powder on. Do I have primer on? What did I do for primer? I didn't even put primer on. I just used my, you know what I did? Let me show you. I used my regular old Paula's Choice moisturizer that I've been using for eons and eons. And I actually put in some of these Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops probably like a dime size worth of that, mixed it with this very a generous moisturizing application of that, almost like drenched my skin in that. Probably overdid it, but I don't care. I prefer that than to underdo it. So that's what I did as the base. But look how natural and beautiful this foundation is looking. I adore this with more parts of my heart than I knew that I had. And I don't even have the words to describe the level of like obsession. Okay, so lips, I'm wearing, what are you? What do you know? I actually have a Laura Mercier lipstick on. This is Laura Mercier. Okay, and this is in the color Nude Nouveau. Really beautiful, very nice, like a mid-tone pink. Not super light, not super dark. Juicy, juicy. Get you a nice cream finish. I have the MAC Go Play. Go Play? This. MAC Cheer Up Glow. Not Go. Glow Play Blush. In the color Cheer Up. This is like a cushiony formula, like cushion gel. Anyway, I like that too. Nice, bright, pinky color. And here's the thing, my friends. I am doing, even though I just showed you some new eyeshadows, because I mean, look, I love eyeshadows. I love opening a new eyeshadow palette and digging into that beautiful buttery formula. This is another reason to buy an eyeshadow formula that you love. You find what you love. I'm just telling you my experience with the high-end and luxury, generally speaking, versus the drugstore. Of course, there's always exceptions, y'all. But as a whole, I've had more luck. I love opening the thing and digging my fingers into those shadows for the first time. If I could do that every day with a new palette and not be wasteful, I would, because it brings me that much inner joy. Whew. But even though I showed you new shadows, I am also doing a lot of like shopping my stash and going back to the beautiful collection of shadows that I already have. So this eye look is from a palette that it took me a while to fall in love with the color story. It is the, guess who? Shocker. Natasha Denona. The retro palette. When this first came out, I thought this was a very uninspired color story. Like, yeah, we've seen pinks and purples. What's so special? The specialness is in her formula, which works very well for me. Some people don't love it. I find the mattes to be pigmented, blendable, easy to work with. The shimmers are just so easy to apply. They're just as buttery as can be. And then her metallics like these can be really nice, fun toppers. So let me walk you through what I put on my face. And I have to do it like this because I'm not skilled enough to do it looking in the camera. Y'all, I'm such an amateur when it comes to this sort of thing. So this is what I have through the crease of my eye, deepened by this one in the outer corner, along with, no, this one too. This kind of purpley shade. Look at this. Hello, hello. I've had this palette for well over a year, I believe. And it's just as beautiful now as it was when I purchased it. And then I have this color, which is a dream, like the coolness, the literal temperature of the shadow when I dig in, and the buttery feeling is dreamy to me. I put this one, sorry, on the outer part of my lids. I put this one here, which is called Helio. I don't know, I'm giving y'all the names. I didn't give y'all the names of the other ones. This one here on the inside part. And then I took this color, Psychedelic, look, and put it on the very inside, all applied with my fingers. Underneath in the lower lash line, I have a combination of this, and this, okay, on the outer edge. And I think it's just a soft, glamorous, romantic look without being overdone. Something that I would feel totally comfortable wearing from office to evening and everything in between. It feels really natural. It feels comfortable. I'm so sorry, I forgot to tell you about one color. This light one I used in the brow area here and on the inside of the eye before I applied the little like metallic shade. So here you go. There's something about her formula that is just very special to me, like Sydney Grace, like Pat McGrath, and Scott Barnes is just like right behind that. I'm also loving the Nomad formula. Let me get a palette of that. So here's an example of one of the palettes. The shimmers and metallics in here are a little bit softer. They're paler in color. Do I have a clean finger to show you? Like, let me dig into this one here. It's beautiful. It's a little bit more sheer, if you will, than some of the other formulas, but this is gorgeous. This is the Iceland palette called the Iceland Fire and Ice palette. I also have Haunted Mansion, and I may collect a few others because I really like these. Even though it's a cardboard package, I love the artwork, and I love the trouble that they go through to emboss the actual shadows with something thematic from the place that the shadows are supposed to remind you of. So anyhow, love the Patrick Ta formula. So those are kind of my top favorites right now. And for me, because I have so many shadows, I'd rather at this point stick to the formulas that I know I love, unless there's something super compelling that comes out on the market that just kind of blows me away and captures my attention. I think that's all I have for you all today. Gosh, there's so many other things I want to film for this channel, so many topics I want to talk about, including social media behavior. Y'all, Lord, some of the behavior happening out here on these applications. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube even. More and more I've gotten just some of the most bizarre kinds of comments. And my channels are not that big. Like, this channel is tiny at this point, and I love you all. You're not tiny, but the number of subscribers is small, really tiny. It's like a micro account in comparison to others, and that's fine. I don't mean that like as a diss on myself. That's just what the numbers say. My other account is still really tiny too, Veronica says. But as that account starts to grow, I get some of the weirdest comments there, and here I'm getting some weird comments too. I mean, from people that I'm just like, are you okay? Have I been talking with lipstick on teeth this whole time? Let me show you a trick. Keep your sugar packet covers. That's what I use them for. They work like a charm. And it's a way to reuse the waste from your sugar experiences. Anyway, I'm like, are y'all okay with these comments? And I'm not talking about any of you. I'm talking about you over there in the back. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, would y'all like to hear about that? I'd love to just chat about that and, like, for me, what I perceive to be the psychology behind some of that stuff. It's really kind of depressing when you see some of the stuff that people feel okay leaving on channels. Anywho, I'm gonna go film another video for the other channel. And I hope that you have enjoyed this video, getting a little peek into my birthday. Thank you for celebrating with me. Thank you for enjoying my eyeshadows with me. And thank you for indulging me as I talk through all of my purchasing decisions and dramas and all of that and my collection curations. Y'all are the best. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, my friends.